But a quarterback that I ain't gonna lie, Garcia, just playing against y'all guys at practice made us. Y'all was SEC quarterbacks, bro.
Right.
So y'all made our game better, like each and every day playing against y'all guys. Relax.
Damn, Steven,
Most guys tense up.
if we would have done track stuff, we would have ran 4.5. Me and you, it was head back. Yeah, everything that you're talking about was me and Steve.
I was like, what I do? He said, you got caught by the kicker.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, tailgaters? Tailgate season is almost over for us with Gamecock football. Just finished up a big ass whooping of the girls in the upstate. Carolina with a big 17-14 win this past weekend up in Clemson. What'd you think of that, Steve-O?
I mean, that was freaking amazing, man. I was actually texting with Lenoris after the game, and I texted him again on Sunday. I was like, dude, how sore are you right now?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking wounded. I mean, that was unbelievable. I was like, dude, you carried the boys on your back, man. Literally, that was unbelievable.
That was I mean, it's been almost impossible for teams to bring him down in the backfield the last couple weeks. But like he was almost physically untackleable for Clemson on Saturday. We were at a party, and I mean, we were like, oh shit, oh go several times.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear my voice, man. I still haven't caught my voice back yet, but I'm telling you, man, that was amazing. We were at one of the restaurants around the corner here, and a bunch of Ohio State fans were there. I mean, it was just an absolute perfect world, man.
Yeah, I mean,
pissed off Ohio State fans and great, South Carolina victory.
Yeah, but how about this? I mean, we go up there, beat Clemson at Clemson, and they have a clear, defining shot at making the playoff, and we're kind of in La La Land.
It's bullshit, but that's how they drew it up. That's what we as fans wanted. So
yep.
You gotta win your conference. That's just the way it works. And
what's crazy man, though is if and we talked about it a little bit before this. We are arguably, I don't think arguably, I think everybody in the country would say we are a top 5 team in the nation the last 6 games of the season.
No question.
Now we're 13 in general because we went 3-3 the first 6. But I mean, if the committee takes into consideration, which I think they should, who's the best team right now, or who are the best 12 teams right now? Obviously, the conference champions, you won your conference, so you're automatically in. But of those other teams, like I know we lost the head-to-head to Alabama. We went to Tuscaloosa. I mean, should have beat them. Had every chance to beat them. The loss against LSU. LSU is not the same team that they were when we played them now. But Lenoris only played half of that football game.
Right.
The refs played 5 quarters of that game. Ole Miss is the only real loss that we had that, would go against us. And, I mean, that Ole Miss team could beat anybody, but they could also lose to anybody. So
exactly.
Just a very kind of weird – I mean, Shane obviously did some petitioning in the media the last couple of days, and I've seen a lot of things on social media. South Carolina definitely deserves it, but they lost 2 head-to-heads against the 2 teams, or 1 team ahead of them now, 1 team behind them now. So it's just weird, man. I'm going to pray hard tonight for us to get in, because I think we'll know tonight what's going to happen. If Alabama's ahead of us, then the kind of writing's on the wall.
I mean, it is Alabama. They have the name behind them.
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. It absolutely shouldn't matter. And I don't think it is what it is, man. I just don't see us jumping Alabama. I hate to say it, but I just don't see it happening. Even though we should. There's not a team that wants to play against South Carolina right now. Yeah. There's nobody.
No, I agree. And I mean, to talk a little bit more, but I mean, Demetrius Knight, holy smokes, 10 total tackles, 6 solos, I think 1.5 for loss, maybe a sack, the game clinching INT, and then the sheer emotions that he showed after the game. And a guy that's only been a part of this rivalry once.
Right.
Like, it shows the impact of this team and what Shane's done with their culture, man. It is to see some of these guys only come in here for a year and how passionate they are about this place. Like, it's really cool.
I mean, yeah, it stems from Coach Beamer at the end of the day. We obviously played for him. We know who he is. I mean, that it's just oozing out into all the other players, and we got guys like Luke and Boogie that we interviewed, in one of
Mhm.
our first deals. I mean, those guys are living, breathing, kind of Coach Beamer-esque almost, and it's
Yeah,
it's awesome to see.
yeah. It's we got a good group, man. I really hope that obviously we will get a bowl game regardless, but I really hope that the true games aren't over yet and we get a chance to get in. But I mean, we put ourselves in position
Uh,
to be in, and then if not, have a really good bowl situation, being 9-3. We'll be playing in a one of the best bowl games here in the country, which we know most of these listeners will be traveling to either Florida or wherever this bowl game is to support our Gamecocks. So um,
Yeah, I mean, but as you said, man, like we that's our resume. We are who we are. We know what the hell we're doing, and I mean, we'll see what this committee ends up doing tonight.
yeah, I'm very hopeful. Now, leading into that, I mean, we had a really cool guest on this week, Captain Munnerlyn. Cap had a 11-year NFL career that he kind of dissected into each portions of being a late round pick to Carolina and then signing a pretty nice contract up in Minnesota, balling out there, coming back to Carolina, and then coming and venturing north with me for a cup of tea up in Buffalo. But he's back living in Charlotte. I mean, he was like he's a guy that I mean, in the interview said that he was very conflicted and like he had a very high draft grade coming out. He ended up going later than he thought he was going to go, and if he knew that was going to happen, he wanted to be a part of our culture and continuing to grow what we did at Carolina. And it would have been nice to have him at corner for one more year.
No doubt, man. That was a very entertaining interview, man. And there's like I've said, from the get go, like I didn't know much about like our teammates as
Mhm.
I do now
It's so
after kind
cool.
of talking with them and hearing their childhood and their upbringing. And I mean, Captain's childhood, I couldn't even fathom
Nuts.
that happening. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Um,
Dug
and
himself out of the mud in Mobile and had a he said one of the greatest decisions he made was coming to South Carolina. He was kind of overlooked
yep,
by the schools right there in Alabama. Right, they had him at his fingertips. Everybody wanted him to play receiver, uh,
yeah,
which was interesting. Obviously, he was a multi-sport athlete in high school with track and all that stuff. So very, very interesting. I felt how passionate and convicted he was about coaching high school football and training kids and kind of his passion of passing the game forward. I know you speak on that a lot too. I mean, that's a huge piece, and hats off to you guys for doing that because that's you're eventually going to leave the game better than you found it.
yep.
It's kind of all of our goal as former athletes is to pass the torch and sit on the sofa and watch the cool stuff happen from there.
No doubt, man. And I love that he's, training kids and coaching high school and trying to instill the same kind of passion and the not necessarily the angriness that he had, but the chip on
Mhm.
his shoulder, the passion, the drive to,
Little man
play college
syndrome. He
football.
he even
Little man
he
syndrome.
said he had
He
little man
admitted it.
syndrome.
He admitted it. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
We didn't have to say it.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, that was really entertaining, and he's a good dude. There's no doubt about it.
yeah. Well, for everybody listening to this episode, make sure you grab a ice cold beer from Steel Hands Brewery, one of our nice sponsors right there. And if you're hungry,
Hey,
swing over to Home Team Barbecue and get some of the best barbecue in the state of South Carolina. Proud sponsors of Tailgate Talks. We're really appreciative of them supporting us getting this thing off the ground. And we text about it a lot and talked about it a lot with Dakota and all of our team. But this is just the start. I mean, this is first
yep,
season. This is, I guess, the last regular season episode. We're going to keep this thing going. We're going to have cooler guests on, and we're going to dabble into basketball and baseball. You and I are going to learn a thing or two from guys who played professionally. Are going to teach us a bunch, but
yep,
also enlighten viewers on Carolina sports and truly what we're looking at. Because you and I
yep.
know football like the back of our hand, but we're no experts in the other sports. But I think we will be by the time
Yeah.
April comes around when spring ball kicks back up and all
It's
that.
gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to hearing from some of these guys.
Mhm,
We talked about Whit Merrifield, Jackie Bradley Jr. I mean, some all-time Gamecock greats, man.
mhm.
It's gonna be we're gonna learn some shit about baseball.
Yeah, and I think we're going to the moon, man. I think tailgate talks what we're doing, highlighting former teammates. everybody here in South Carolina and even abroad, other states have such a passion for Carolina sports. There's a lot of radio networks and podcasts out there that talked about recruiting and all the boring stuff, but I feel like we're providing a lot of insight into guys that impacted our lives, but also, changed college for some guys
Yep.
and changed
Yep.
young adulthood and changed childhoods for, Dakota said that captain was his first ever autograph as a Gamecock fan
Hey,
when he was just wee high.
so Pat, you were off the podcast at this time
Mhm.
with Captain. He left his thing recording, and he was talking to his mom.
Yeah,
He's like, "Mom, I just talked to the guy that I was his first autograph at South Carolina."
that's so
She's like,
cool.
"No way." She's like, "Baby, that's awesome." I was like, "That's such a great story."
That's what it's about,
You're
man. I
welcome.
mean,
There you go, Dakota.
yeah, and I think we're impacting people, and I mean everybody in Columbia that I know listens, and people that I don't know listen and see me walking around, and they say, "Hey, you guys are doing awesome." So, I mean, in order for us to continue to grow, we need you guys to, one, listen, two, follow us on all social media accounts, and
Leave us
guys,
a review. We got to get reviews,
yeah,
even if they're shitty. Just
yeah.
reviews are great.
Yeah, we're excited about taking this thing to the next level. And we can't do it without you guys. So continue to listen. Hopefully you enjoy this episode with Cap, and make sure you say some prayers tonight, or I guess last night, because this will air on Wednesday. Hopefully your prayers were said last night to get us in the playoff. And this has been a really fun season, Steven. It's been a
Yeah,
blast to do with you, brother.
absolutely, man. Fun. We're just getting started, though, man. Just getting started.
All right, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sure we have some lady listeners too. But hopefully you guys enjoy this episode of Tailgate Talks with DeMarco and Garcia. And go Cox.
Well, cool, man. All right, so we got Captain Munnerlyn. We were teammates, obviously. Just kind of, you're from Mobile. Kind of tell us about, tell us about your childhood, man. Tell us about kind of where you're from and kind of go through it, man.
Never had that father figure in my life. And one thing I turned to was football. And I always had those coaches that always been like father figures in my life. So when I turned to football, I see that I was, pretty good at it. A lot of people's like, yo, this kid really got a chance.
Yep.
But the thing that knocked me was I wasn't the biggest guy.
Mhm.
I always been a small guy my whole life. I grew up, I was premature. I was premature. I came 3 months early. A lot of people don't know this. I was
Jeez.
3 months early. My birthday's April 10th. I supposed to been born July 10th.
Mm.
So I
Wow.
was I was in and out of the hospital my whole first year of my life.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know that. I had tubes down my nose. My mom said I was so small I could fit in a shoebox.
Wow.
Yeah. So she always
Damn.
told me, she was like, we didn't need a bed, a baby bed for you. We could have just laid you in a shoebox. So we always joked about that, but I always been like not the biggest guy in the world, but I always had heart.
Yep.
I was always a guy who had that heart, and I always had a chip on my shoulder. So when I got to middle school, that's when things really start. The light really went off in my head. Like, man, I really can take this football thing to the next level. And my freshman year, I went to a high school called Murphy High School down in Mobile. Uh, I won like the freshman championship. I played receiver. A lot of people don't know that I played receiver. And coming into my sophomore year, I started varsity as a receiver. And I was getting a lot of traction from different people, different colleges saying like, yo, this kid really can play.
Yep.
My high school coach actually lied to like the rivals people and stuff like that. He was telling people I was 6 feet. He had
Hey,
to get them down to
I
Mobile.
mean, I was
Hey,
six
hey,
four when I was in high school.
hey, so at Garcia and Pat, man, he was telling guys I was 6 feet, 182 pounds. I'll never forget. I seen an article the other day, and I was sitting there like, he really told those people I was 6 feet, and that's how he got them to come down there to see me
Yeah.
play. And my junior year, for some reason, I always used to, me being, I'm not a selfish guy, y'all know, but I went to the coach my sophomore year telling him, hey man, in order for us to win fucking football games, we got to give me the damn
Yep.
ball. And he was like, what? A sophomore coming in his office telling them that he want the football. I was like, man, I want the ball.
Yep.
Like if Murphy High School want to win games, I want the ball. So my high school coach, he said, all right, well, tomorrow go get a blue jersey. Blue jersey with defense. I was like, yo, no, 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 no. I don't want to tackle nobody. I want the ball. He's like, no. He's like, go get a blue jersey. If they throw it your way and you don't catch it, it's your own damn fault.
Damn.
I was like, whoa. So that's how I became a defensive back.
Yeah, you
No
So
ended
shit.
up taking the thing. You said, all right, well, if you ain't going to
yes,
give it to me, I'll take
yeah,
it from you.
yeah. So I end up being a defensive back, and I would never forget. I used to go into his office like, "Yo, coach, you ever gonna put me back on offense?" He's like, "No, you want the ball, you go get it." I was like, "Man." So I walk out the office, I was pissed. So the next day at practice, I played defensive back, and I seen him. I was like, "Oh man, I'm okay with this thing."
Mhm.
And he brought me into his office. Y'all know when we was coming out, it's totally different now. But when we was
Yeah.
coming out, they wanted these big guys at receiver. To be a Division One, he showed me a scale. To be a Division One receiver, you had to be 5'11" and above.
Yeah.
To be a Division One cornerback, it was like 5'9" and above. So he came, he had that talk with me. He's like, listen, Cap, only reason why I really put you on defense because I feel like you got an opportunity to go play at the next level.
Mhm.
So with that being said, these guys not looking at you to play receiver at the next level.
Yeah.
You're only 5'9", really 5'8" at the time.
Yeah. Well, that's real car.
And he,
Yeah.
yeah, so he was telling me that, and I was sitting there like, man. So after that, man, everything turned on for me. I was a defensive back. Coach Ron Cooper recruited me. Y'all remember Coach Coop?
Yep.
To the University of South Carolina. I didn't go to camps. I didn't do all the extra stuff that other guys did because I just couldn't afford it,
Yeah.
man. Mom was a single parent. I couldn't afford to go to camps. I couldn't afford to, travel and, showcase my talent. So I took advantage of what, the opportunity presented itself. South Carolina stuck with me. And when everybody else jumped on that train, it was too late, man. I was a Gamecock.
Yeah. Did you have offers from Auburn, Alabama, the in-state
Yes,
school?
they all came late.
Okay.
They all came late. And with me, I had to, I had some hard work to do in the
Mhm.
classroom. I definitely had some hard work to do in the classroom because I played around. I'm being me, thinking, man, I'm Captain Mullen. They just gonna pass me, and it didn't work like
Mhm.
that. So I, I had to really, work my tail off in the classroom. So all the little extra money that my mom had, she sent me to night school to pick up grades. She sent me other to retake some classes,
Yeah.
over the summer just to pick up my grades so I can have the GPA to match, my ACT so I can get into the University of South Carolina. So when all those other schools try to come in, it was too late, man.
Mhm.
South Carolina, they didn't turn their back on me. They worked with me. Um, and those guys, like I said, man, Ron Cooper, he was a great recruiter.
Coop.
He was a great
I
recruiter,
love
man.
I
So
love Coop.
yeah, yeah. So Coop really he stuck with me, man. And when all the other schools came, man, I was like, man, no, this guy stuck with me since day one.
Do you still
And
talk to Coop?
yeah, I still talk to him. We
You know,
we we conversate here now. He the head coach at Long
yeah,
Island.
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
One of the kids that I train is the quarterback over there. He
oh
freaking
wow,
loves
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Man, listen,
Lucas Stanzani.
man, I still talk to Coop. He's still f***ing crazy.
Oh
He
yeah.
still put them hands out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, that's how I get to the University of South Carolina, man. And I wouldn't change it for the world, man. We had some great times, man, the ups and the downs, and even playing for the old ball coach,
Yeah.
man, and Steve Spurrier, man. You learned a lot, and even them tough practices we had against y'all guys, when we get kicked off the field sometimes for making a tackle too
Yeah.
hard.
Hey,
Yep.
Coach Spurrier's going to protect his offense. You know that.
He
You
gonna
know that.
protect his offense, man. I'll never forget. We get kicked out of practice so much, man. Hey, go practice on your own damn time. Go over there. We over there like, damn, coach. We just trying to get ready to win the football game. You're not gonna hit my
Yep.
guys. You're not gonna hit my guys at all.
Dude, I
And then
remember
Man,
one,
uh,
that's so funny.
my official visit. I came up in December. I was a late offer from South Carolina. I was a two-star. Kind of had all the smaller schools, but I came up, took a visit to South Carolina, and you were hosting somebody during that weekend. And we were
uh-huh,
up in the right outside of our locker room is where they used to have tape and all that stuff. It was where the fancy dinner. I
yeah,
mean, dude, recruiting
yeah.
visits back in our day were so shitty compared to what they are now. Now they're going
Oh
hall,
Oh
man,
my.
yes.
but Coach was talking, and I remember he said two things when he was up on stage. He said, was talking about Blake Mitchell. He's like, Blake's a pretty good quarterback, but the thing that he's best at is understanding that Sidney Rice, number 4, is the best player on our team. He gets posted a lot, and number 4 makes Blake look pretty good. And then he
Yeah.
was talking about academics, and he was like, "It's like we got a really good academic team. I mean, they can even keep." And hopefully, he doesn't mind me sharing, but there's a guy in this room right now that hadn't been to class almost all semester, and they're keeping him eligible, Captain Munnerlyn. And you were like, "Damn, coach, why you have to do me like that?"
I remember that, Pat. I remember that. I promise I remember that. I was like, dang, you're like, you just gonna tell these people don't go to
Yeah, coach, I started 7 games for you this year. Give me a break.
class? Come on, man. Yeah, man, but Spurrier, man, he's one of the best, man. Like just how he came off of us sometimes, man. And I'm gonna share this quick story about him. Like I went back to a game. I think y'all guys are still playing, and he told me to come here. I was on the sideline. I'm sitting there like, man, what Spurrier want, man? He's like, come here. He's like, you remember third and 21? We was playing Louisiana Lafayette, and you took the flat route and they threw a corner route right behind
Yep.
you. I'm sitting there like, hey, bro, like I'm in the
Yeah,
NFL
chill.
now. I
Give me
play
a
for the
break.
Panthers. Why are you talking to me about that, man? How do you even still remember that play?
He remembers.
Like his
It's
memory is crazy,
Yeah,
man.
freaky.
His
unbelievable.
memory
I
is
mean,
crazy.
me and Pat had him on one of the first or the first episode, and I mean, he remembered damn near everything except for when I got kicked off the team. He didn't remember much. He didn't want to talk much
No,
about
he
that.
He don't want
remembered
to
it.
talk
He
much
just didn't
about
want to
that.
take ownership of it.
He didn't want to talk about the shit. Hey,
Nah.
listen. Hey, Garcia, listen, I tell people the story about you all the time. You the only guy I know that can move off campus as a damn freshman and sophomore. You the first one. You started the trend.
Yeah, he did.
You started the trend. So listen, when you did it, guess what? I was going into my sophomore year or my junior year. I was like, listen, Spurrier didn't let nobody stay off campus until you was a senior.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you gave me
Yep.
leverage. You didn't know it, but you gave me leverage. When they kick you off and you start staying off campus, and I was like, yo, man, I was like, man, I'm coming off all SEC year. I'm like, listen, coach. I'm like, man, listen. I'm like, Garcia staying off campus. He's our quarterback.
Mhm.
I'm like, listen, man, I'm one of your guys. He's sitting there like, you know what? I'm gonna let you do it. So you gave me leverage. You didn't even know, and I appreciate it. I
Well,
appreciate you.
that hey, you better thank Clark Gaston then. He's the one that pulled the fire extinguisher on
Oh
me, and then I
yeah.
pulled it back on him.
No.
And then I remember Jamie Sprotus was like, "Hey, you're kicked off campus. Here's your monthly stipend for your off campus housing." I'm like, "Wait,
You go.
I'm getting.
You're paying me to go off
I
campus.
should have done it. I should have done this my first damn day here."
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was man. We had some fun, man. We had some battles, man. And just to see y'all guys, I left y'all guys a year early than I should have. But it turned out good in the pros for me. But y'all had some damn good years,
Mhm.
man. Like damn good years, man. I remember coming back, because when I first got drafted here with the Panthers, I didn't know nobody in the city for real. So all my friends was my college buddies, and y'all was always away.
Yep.
So I always came every time I had an opportunity to come to a game, I came.
Mhm.
I remember sometimes having practice here at the stadium, had to be at practice at 6:30, and my college at the time, my college girlfriend, she still stayed down there. So I used to drive up, man. I used to leave like 4 o'clock in the morning to get to practice. Like because I just wanted to still be in that atmosphere
Yeah.
around y'all guys. Gotta realize I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
I entered the draft at 20. So all my friends still in college.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So to come back and still watch y'all guys play, man, and I'll never forget. Then y'all play Alabama, y'all beat Alabama, man. That was probably one of the best things ever for me. I
No,
was like,
perfect.
listen, because like, man, being from the state of Alabama, I never got a chance to play Alabama, and y'all guys beat them, and I was sitting there like, man, like, yeah, they definitely did that. I know all those
Yeah,
guys,
we got
so
our
I was
asses
definitely
kicked the
excited about
first
that.
year, 2009. We went down there and Julio returned a punt for
Yeah,
a touchdown, caught a bomb. Like they had their way with us, but then kind of like
but then when they came back to our
yeah,
house,
when
now
they
let's
came to
get it.
really beat. But
Yeah.
I did a lot of that is like kind of the foundational piece that you were Spurrier's. Were you his first ever recruiting class or second?
I was a part of his first
Yeah.
recruiting class ever.
Yep.
In 2005, those guys was kind of Lou Holtz
Mhm.
guys, mixed
Hmm.
with Spurrier when he first took over. But me, guys like Mo Brown, Chris Hale, we was part of his first real recruiting class at the University of South
Chris
Carolina, man.
Hale.
Yeah.
Y'all
What the
Oh
remember
hell
Chris
God.
is
Hale?
what the hell is he doing?
Man, I don't know, man. I seen him on IG on Instagram probably like a couple years ago. I remember Shaq. I talked to Shaq and those guys, but Chris Hale, man, I checked on him. Seemed like he was doing pretty good, man.
He
Seemed like he was
he
doing
he
pretty
might have
good.
been one of the most athletic guys
No question.
Listen,
ever at
he
South
had
Carolina that never
so
played.
much talent, man. Listen, Guy like that, man, I just didn't get it. I'm like, yo, bro, he can play receiver, and he had the size. He can play corner.
Yep.
He can play safety. You couldn't even line him up in the
Yep.
backfield.
He was
He had
freaky.
so much talent, bro. And man, some guys is just, it didn't click at the right time for
Yeah.
him. But he had so much talent, man. We had some guys that can go. We
Oh
had some
yeah.
guys that can
I
go,
mean,
man.
Yeah.
And
speaking of going, I think you were probably one of the guys, if not the fastest human beings I think I've ever seen in person.
I second
oh yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah, man. I used to pride myself on speed because, look at me, man. I'm still not the biggest guy, never gonna be the biggest guy in the world. So I pride on myself on being fast. So that's what I had to do. I had to show everybody that, listen, I might be small, but I can run.
Yeah.
I might be this, but I can run.
Do you contribute your speed to, because I mean you were a track athlete as well in high school. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
me and Pat have talked to, I mean, every single guest that we've had on the show were multi-sport athletes in high school.
No.
So do you think, I mean, how much did track, do for you as far as your speed development on the field? Like, did it translate? Because people always talk about like track speed and then there's football speed.
Yes, but it translated, it helped me learn how to run.
Hmm.
Most guys they run, they be all out of sync, just running. But learning how to really run, how to, not take so much stress, like just throwing my head back, just running.
Yeah.
It helped me really learn how to run, and it taught me how to really show myself how to really stay calm, relax, and just run regular, relax.
Damn, Steven.
Most guys tense up.
If we would have done track stuff, we would have ran 4.5. Me and you, we were.
Yeah.
It was head back. Everything that you're talking
Yes,
about
I
was
just
me and
love it.
Steven.
Listen, man, listen, Garcia used to get loose and he used to be all over the place.
Man,
Hey, Pat, Garcia had that ball in one hand, he just,
Yeah, he was telling
hey,
McCoy out there.
Vanilla
yeah.
Vic, man. Man, I
But man,
remember, I mean, coming out of high school, I was running, like 4.5. And then I got up here and, these guys are 300 pounds. They're, chasing me from behind. I'm like, I better start putting on some weight because
yeah,
I,
you
I
had
ain't gonna,
to.
I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna be able to play at 210 pounds in the SEC.
What you had to get with black iron and put on some weight?
Yeah,
Yeah, he could do that.
but
He
yeah,
beat the
in a
fuck.
hurry. He used to absolutely hammer us, man. Just the amount of weight.
Used to get killed, man. Like they always want to put on those vests and say, "Listen, Georgia doing it, Alabama doing it." Man, I don't care about that. I never forget the day. Listen, I never forget the day. Me, Carlos Thomas, Darius Stewart, we all, was going to Garden Maker drill. Y'all remember Garden Maker,
Yeah,
right?
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Oh
So,
yeah.
so we going to Garden Maker drill. They hit
yeah. Oh
it.
gosh.
So I'll
God.
never forget it. So, but we had the vests on. So the DBs, we wanted to be DBs. So we take the weights out of our vests and hide the
Yeah.
weights. So Carlos did it. Darius Stewart did it. I'm looking like, man, I can't be the only one, man. I'm like, man. I'm like, all right. So I took a couple off mine. So Gardner made us notice. He made us go hit it. Doom, 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 doom. He noticed. He said, Captain, come here. I'm like, oh. He's like, he's like, he's like, you missing? He like, you missing a couple. I'm like, huh? I'm like, man, it came like this, coach. I don't know what you're talking about. It came like this. He was like, nah. So he looked at Carlos. Carlos had all of them
Oh
gone.
gosh.
Every single one.
I'm not surprised by that.
Listen, man, it was so funny. Gotta make it. He said, "Oh, y'all ain't leaving. Y'all staying the whole drill. We had to stay the whole drill with him. Me, Darren Stewart, and Carlos Thomas. I'll never forget that day.
That was our agility day because we had like 6
Yes,
different stations. Then we ran half gassers to finish it. So we do all
yes.
that.
Listen, he made us stay with him
That was
all day,
brutal.
man. That's the day right there. I thought I was gonna hang it up. I was like, listen, man, I don't know. Let me call back home, tell my mom I did something stupid, and I think it's over with, man. I don't want to be here no more. They killing
Well,
us.
I remember we were when we did those half gassers at the end. You had to stay in the white. And like
You had to.
honestly, like when I
Yep.
was training in the NFL in the off season, running on my own, like I would like finish up and I stand in the white and then be like, staying in the white. I don't have to stay in the white anymore, black and white. So I walk out the white, like just in spite of him. Who was it? When because we had to stay in the white. I remember like almost when we started, every single time somebody would bring trash cans and put the trash cans in the white to be able to throw up, so they wouldn't get in trouble for using the
Yes.
white to throw up.
Yes. Yes, man. We had some guys, but we had some characters, dog.
Oh
We had
my
some
God.
characters on that team, bro. Hey, especially y'all class. Y'all class was me.
Oh
We,
yeah.
we, we were a
We've
beautiful mess, led by this guy right
Listen,
here.
Me and Melvin Ingram was talking about it the other day, man. Y'all class just was y'all was special, man. Y'all was
We
special.
had a really good like dynamic group. We had like the chaotic guys, the structured guys, the glue guys, the guys that
Yeah.
got in trouble, like Steven. Like, but just like we had a good blend and we all kind of like really just palled around. I mean, our team in general, we were tight top to bottom, offense, defense. We were like, there wasn't one party that happened in Columbia that we all weren't invited to, that we all didn't hang out at. So I think that was a
Yeah,
big part of
man.
our edge.
Y'all really, I really can say, truly can say this, man, and y'all really changed that culture, man. Like I know my class came in, we was part of the first recruiting class. You know, we beat Clemson and stuff like that my freshman year. But when y'all came in and how the cohesive, like how y'all interact with each other, like how y'all always like brothers,
Mm,
like it was crazy. And me coming back to see that, I was sitting there like, yo, this is Gamecock football,
yeah.
man. This is what it's all about. The brotherhood that y'all had was special. Even though, we still, my class, we still had some guys that we still taught. We were special too, but y'all really changed that, man. Y'all really turned Columbia to Columbia.
Well,
That's how I
I
feel.
mean, I'll
My
speak on
personal
that too,
opinion.
but like today's college, like today's Carolina team, I mean, I see a lot of the resemblance of the teams that we played on in this team. Tough, gritty, resilient. You know, they have
Listen,
talent,
man.
but
Listen.
like it's the will to win. That's more what I see in this team now.
Listen, I've been telling people all week, even on my podcast, or even when people have been around the city, and they ask me, they was like, "What you think about the Gamecocks?" I really, truly think if we beat Clemson, man, we can have a chance to get into the college playoff.
So
If
Yeah.
things shape up our way, we have opportunity. Say if Alabama lose to Auburn, or say it's robbery week,
yeah,
anything can go
And
happen.
yeah. Yeah.
And with us, I really think if we beat Clemson, we take care of business. We have a chance, man. We have a chance, man. Coach Bean, he doing a great job, man. Bean, I remember Bean from being my position
yeah, I
coach, and he
remember
didn't know
that.
what the hell was going on.
Mhm.
He didn't know nothing. He was a special teams guy. I'm a 19-year-old. Beam come in. I'm coming off all SEC year. Beam get on the board. He going over a couple coverages with us. I raise my hand. I'm like, yo, coach, like that's not right. I was one of those guys. Like, coach, that's not right. He looked. He erased it. He put it up there. All right. He said, hey, Captain, I want to talk to you after. I'm like, what's up, coach? He's like, don't you ever do that shit
Ever.
again that you did.
Oh
And,
man.
and our relationship's been good ever since that, man. Ever since that day, he told me that I was like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
19 years. I was like, yes, sir. I'm never gonna do that again. He's like, don't do that in front of guys. If you see I'm doing something wrong, you come talk to me after, okay? I was like, all right, coach, I got you. But me
Yeah.
being a special teams guy, I was his punt returner,
Yep.
the kickoff guy, the gunner. So we always had a tight relationship, man. To see what he doing in Columbia is just it's amazing, man. He put a great coaching staff
Mhm.
together. He recruited great, and even when he sang that Fantasia song, he just don't understand. So many recruits when to come mess with him
Yep.
about that.
Oh,
They love that,
absolutely.
man. They love that, man. He's a people person, man, and I'm loving to see him get the success that he's deserved, man.
Yeah.
No doubt. I'll tell you what, coaches love when you try to tell them something in front of all the players and other coaches. I told Coach Mangus one time, if he ever hears this, I'm sure he'll be pissed off that I told the story. But I remember I threw like a dig when I should have threw like an out route or a flat or
Yeah,
something like that. And he ended up, I think it was DL Moore ended up catching it. I mean, it
yeah.
was a great play. He's like, you got to throw it to the fucking flat. And I was like, I said, Coach, relax, relax. He came off, threw his visor on. He's like, don't you fucking ever tell me to relax. I tell you to relax. I'm like, all right, man.
First down,
All right.
Gamecocks.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, sorry, man. My bad. My bad. I'm done. I'm done with
No,
that.
yeah, yeah. I'll never forget
Loud
that,
and clear.
man.
Message received.
Listen, man, we had some times, boy. Even your freshman year, Garcia, going to Tampa for the Outback
Oh
Bowl. That was
God.
my
Oh,
last game, man. Listen,
that's
we had some times in Tampa, boy. I said, man, we down here in this man hometown. Y'all know Garcia ain't gonna do right.
Yep.
oh man. That was dangerous. That was so
We
dangerous.
survived
But
Listen,
barely.
hey,
hey, yeah, we
we
did.
survived. We
Got
definitely
But
pushed
survived.
man,
in by Iowa, but we survived.
yeah.
Hey,
I'll tell
Sean
but what
Sean Green still running the ball
Yes,
on us,
no
boy.
doubt.
He
jeez.
was that was the biggest offensive line I ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. Being an SEC guy, we see big offensive linemen, but when they was playing Iowa,
That was a different deal.
that was different, man. I was
Them
like, these,
cornbread folks.
what you say? I was sitting there like, man, listen, my little self out there trying to tell. Oh man, listen, man, let me go into
Um,
this draft. Let me enter this draft.
oh man, I'll tell you what though. Do you see where some of these kids are living at now with the NIL and all that?
Bro, it's crazy.
Compare to
Garcia,
like
you know how much
where
you
we
know how
were at
much
at E
money
Squad.
you know how much money you would have if they had NIL, man, when you was in college.
I try not to think about it, man. It is
Listen,
what it is.
I know it is crazy, man. Then with a name like Captain, I could have got me a little something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Hey Pat, for real, man, it is crazy, man. These kids are they living it, man. They living it. You know, a lot of older guys, you know, they fought for that.
Yep.
You know, they fought for those guys to get their name, image, and likeness. And these kids, they reaping it now, bro. They reaping it, and it's a good thing. But some of it is kind of out of control.
Yeah. I
Like you
agree.
can be starting at the University of South Carolina, and next year you can be transferring to Alabama just because the money.
Yep.
It's
yeah,
like
and not
wow.
not have, not have to sit out a year, not have to do anything.
Yeah.
No,
It's just
I
it
wish
is crazy, bro.
I wish it was kind of similar to an NFL structure, man, where like, you sign somewhere as a freshman, you sign a 4-year contract. So you're going to get some sort of NIL guaranteed stipend. But if you leave after 2 years, you got to give a portion of that money back.
Yeah, you
Make
gotta
there be
do
a
something,
punishment or
man.
something to make you feel it a little bit,
Bro,
because
it's
the window shopping and going here to there to do is it just ain't it.
they just going to the highest bidders, man. Like if you look
yeah,
at the guy that's at Ohio State, Downs, that took the punt return back this past
Yep.
weekend, he
yep.
was at Alabama balling.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden, this was before Nick Saban. I'm like, yo, he left and with Ohio State. Like, why?
I mean,
He's just
it's
at.
it's it's crazy. You got to recruit kids to come to your school, and then they have a good year. Now you got to recruit them to stay at your school. I mean, it's
You
it's
have
like
to.
no it's like no wonder Saban retired. He didn't want to deal with
Yeah,
that bull.
he didn't want to deal with it, and I'm a little nervous by our defensive end, Stewart. I hope nobody try to throw the bag at that kid because he's special.
I mean, that and our quarterback is pretty solid too. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes,
he's a,
yes,
he's
and I'm
a, he's a
like,
South
yo,
Carolina guy, but I mean,
I think we're gonna have to bring
at
hey,
it
18,
back for both of them.
yes,
18
we're gonna
years
have
old,
to.
you start throwing a couple $1 million in your face. It's like
Come on, man. Or what are you gonna do? You have to. I'm sorry.
you
I'm not.
you have to.
You have to like because whether you don't pan out in the NFL, we know, man, it's hard. The
Right.
NFL is tough.
It's
You know, being a college quarterback now, you basically going for $1 million
yeah,
in college.
That's I'll tell you what, a
more
million
than league
dollars in my
minimum.
hand in college, it'd be bad news.
Oh, God said, what you with $1 million in college? Oh my God. Oh
That was,
man, listen, listen, listen. Hey,
I'd
hey,
be in a
Pat.
ditch somewhere, man.
You were already the
Pat.
village idiot. You would have owned the village idiot.
No,
Five 5 points wouldn't have been 5 points, baby. It's been Garcia'sville. It's
Garciaville.
been
That's so true.
Oh
Oh. All right. Well, I mean,
man, that
when this show airs, the game against Clemson will be over,
yeah.
and we're going to be sitting here at 9-3. Hopefully, the chaos happens and it gives us a chance. But tell us your favorite memory of the rivalry week playing Clemson, and I think you went 1-2 against Clemson, right? So you won your freshman year and then
Yep.
lost sophomore
My
year.
my my sophomore year, I didn't play.
Yeah.
I had the Liz Frank injury.
Yep.
I had the surgery on my foot, so I missed that game, and I felt like I let my teammates down because I really wanted to play.
Mhm.
And they picked up my backup, man. They picked up my backup. Shout out to
AD.
Addison Williams, AD. They picked
he,
on AD that game, man. He got in the
you,
game,
he's at
and they threw.
UCF.
Yeah,
Yeah,
DC there.
he's DC there. So
Yeah.
they went at AD neck, man, but he was a freshman.
Yep.
So I couldn't I was so mad. I'm like I wanted to play so bad and I was on the sideline with a damn boot on my foot.
Mhm.
But my freshman year was my first really taste of it, like for real, when I knew it was crazy. You know, me being from the state of Alabama, I knew about Alabama and Auburn.
Mhm.
You know, I never knew how big the South Carolina Clemson was, and I knew they had to fight the years prior.
Yep.
I
The
never,
brawl,
and then
yeah.
watching it, the brawl, the Savell knew getting kicked in the head with the fade, like this, it was crazy. I remember that, but when I played there down there in Death Valley, man, and I was sitting there like, yo, bro, this is crazy. You know, they calling you all these names, they student section, they going wow, and we beat them on a last minute field goal. It was the best feeling I had in the world, man. You would have thought like I was like Superman. I felt so great just winning that game. And the next year, like I said, I didn't end up playing that game, so I was really pissed that they beat us. Then my junior year, that's the year Spurrier He kicked me and Jerry Cook out there at halftime, if y'all
That was the
remember.
rain game. Yeah, that was the rain
It was
Yep.
the
game.
rain game. It was the rain game. He came in, Pat and Garcia, y'all remember this? He said, "We got guys thinking about the freaking NFL already. You know what? Take the jerseys off. Just take it off. Don't come back out."
Yeah, I
Yep.
remember that.
He told me and Jared Cook that, and I'm sitting there like, "Man, coach, I want to still play." He said, "Well, you're not playing. Take it off. You're thinking about the league already." Because that was the rain game. Man, we just had a big game,
Yep,
man. And I always tell guys, Dabo need to thank us too, because he wasn't gonna get that damn job if he didn't beat
I
us.
agree.
That's
He
that's
wasn't
a
gonna
good
get that
point.
damn job. He was not getting that job. They had a terrible year.
Yeah,
Clemson was terrible that year. And we just thought we was gonna go in and just handle those guys. But CJ Spiller and James Davis had a different motive.
yeah,
They came out, they ran the ball hard, and they was balling. And they really beating us, really got Dabo their job. I don't think Clemson would have gave him a chance because they would have lost to us, and then they was already like 5-6 at the time.
yeah.
And he was the interim coach. Bowden had just left. So he need to be thanking us, man, for his little success a little bit. That 2018, he need to be thanking us a little bit, man. Even though I hate Clemson, but they went on to have some runs, man. They had some damn good teams,
Yeah.
some damn good
Yeah.
teams after that.
Stephen had some fond memories of you at Carolina. You returned a kickoff like 81 yards. Stephen threw a touchdown the following play. I think you ended up blocking a
Oh
field
yeah,
goal that same game and returning it
Kentucky,
for a
baby.
touchdown.
Yep. Kentucky.
I remember that game like it was yesterday. Cause Kenny McKinley, rest in peace, Kenny McKinley. He ended up breaking the record that game,
Yep,
right?
yep.
For touchdowns
Yeah.
or
Yep.
something.
Yep.
And he came to the sideline, never forgetting. He was like, "Man, thank you." I was like, "What I do?" He said, "You got caught by the
You
kicker. You
got
didn't
caught.
score."
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I'll never forget that. And Garcia hit him on the corner route, right?
Yep. Yep.
On the corner route. I'll never forget, man. I was like, man, he got the record right there. And
He said, "Thank
that
you.
kicker
You
was
got
damn
caught by the
fast,
kicker."
though, man.
He said that kicker was damn fast.
Caught by the damn kicker, man. And my friends, they still give me hell to this day, man. But that kicker was damn fast, man. I went and looked up his 100 time. I went and looked up his 40 time and everything. I couldn't believe it.
He had an angle. He had an angle. All right, so you
Oh
ended up
man.
leaving Carolina early. I mean, and you kind of harped on it a
Yes.
little bit. I mean, you left after 3 years. You ended up being a second round pick. You're great. Like your pre-draft grade was like a second, third round pick, wasn't it?
I was I was coming out, man. Only reason why I left school, and I don't know a lot of people know this. I wasn't no dummy to leave school and they said I was gonna be a fifth to seventh round pick. I would have just stayed in college with y'all guys and rise my stock a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more. But
Right.
coming out, they said I was gonna be from 2 to 3
Mm-hmm.
as a junior.
Yep.
I'm like, yo, mind you, I didn't have the best junior year, and they really weren't throwing my ball away that way my junior year. I didn't have the stats, and we had just got a new defensive coordinator
Yeah.
in Ellis
Yep.
Johnson,
Yep.
and his style of defense really didn't fit me. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't really fit me. Like he wanted to play a little bit more zone. I was more of a man guy. I've always been a firm believer. If I play this guy in front of me, don't let him catch the damn ball. So this was my man. If I don't let him catch the damn ball, I'm doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go man up and let's roll. But Ellis was more of a zone guy.
Mm-hmm.
He want to play quarters. He want to play cover two, and it didn't fit me. So I was looking at that and coming back, I just felt like it wouldn't have got any better for me.
Yep.
So I was like, listen, second to third round, let me go ahead and leave and see where this thing takes me.
Yeah, you ended up in Carolina. You played 4 years in Carolina. Tell us about. I mean, you harped on it a little bit earlier, just being an hour and a half up the road. But tell us about playing for the Panthers.
Listen, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to my career. Going to Spartanburg for training camp
Mm-hmm.
and being a household name already was like crazy.
Yep.
Like you said, being an hour and a half away from my college and coming into training camp all year, captain, oh man, go Gamecocks, this and that. And I'm like, yo, I can rock with this.
Yeah.
I really can rock with this. So it's the best thing that really could happen to me in my career, man.
What What do you think? I
Just
mean, so when your name slips and you go into the seventh round, I mean, you already play with a chip on your shoulder, as you mentioned earlier. You just grew up with that chip on your shoulder. Does that kind of put even more of a chip on your shoulder? Like, I got to
man,
prove these
man,
assholes
it
wrong.
was it wasn't a chip. It felt like a house on my damn shoulder. Now I was so mad to go where I wanted to be and then having the financial stability. I didn't have it as a 7th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
You like, man, you still trying to make it. So I
Right.
don't know what my future looked like. I really don't know, but I had that house on my shoulder. It
Yep.
wasn't a chip no more, it was a house. It was like, listen, bro, it's do or die. It's do or die. I don't give a damn what about to happen. It's do or die. I'm gonna make this damn team, and I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to stick around. And I was that, and I had that, and I always used to play with so much anger. Y'all know me. I got little man syndrome real bad.
You
Y'all know
do.
me. Y'all
You
know it.
do.
He
I
said,
had it. I got it real bad. So I used to always go out there and play with so much aggression and anger, but that what made me as a player. And I had a coach named Steve Wilkes that had me in Carolina.
Yeah.
He set my little ass down one day. He said, "Hey, man, sit down." He's like, "Let me talk to you." He's like, "Cap, stop playing so angry. You get some of these extra penalties because you being so aggressive. You want to show everybody you a big man, you the big dog."
Mhm.
And he's like, "Just relax. Stop showing everybody like you got this big old chip on your shoulder. You just want to go out there, rah, 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 rah." He said, "Stop trying to go out there and prove people wrong." I'm sitting there like, huh? He's like, "Man, just prove people that you was right about yourself. Prove to yourself
That's
that you was
cool.
right about yourself." And I was sitting there like, damn.
Yeah.
that
He's
makes
like,
sense.
Yeah.
he was like, "Forget everybody else, all this rah rah tough talk. You ain't have to do that. You know what you is. You know what you capable of doing. So go out there and prove that you was right for yourself. Stop trying to prove everybody else wrong."
I
And
mean,
that's when the game really slowed down for me. I stopped getting all these extra penalties. I started making more plays, and I started just having fun with it, man. Because if you look at some of the some pictures, old videos of pictures, I always had that mean look on my face, like I wanted
the
to be the
mean
tough
Oh,
mug.
guy.
yes, you did.
I was mean mugging everybody. Pat,
I
even when you
know.
play down in Atlanta and I'm playing against you, you like, "What's up, brother?" I'm like, I don't want to talk. Let's
Don't
go.
talk to
Let's
me.
fuck.
Don't talk
I'm,
to me.
I'm like the little, hey Steve, hey Garcia, I'm like the little Johns out there. Intimidation.
Oh, but
Cause
I'll tell
man,
you
I
what,
always,
like everybody always talks about like, DJ Swearinger just having
yeah,
like the chip and just the passion and playing. It's like there was a guy before him,
Yep.
Captain Munnerlyn, that
Little psycho.
was probably more pissed off, played with a little more of a chip than DJ did. And I mean, I freaking loved it. Did me and Pat were talking earlier. Did you or did you not? How many locker room fights did we have back in the
Oh,
day?
oh man, we had a lot. We had a lot, man. We had a
How
lot
many
of
how many
locker room
how
fights.
many did you have your hand involved in?
Probably 90% of them.
yeah. Big guys, little guys.
Probably,
You weren't backing down. That was the best part about you,
listen,
though.
I didn't care who you was,
Yeah.
man. Y'all know how it was. I didn't care who you was, man. I was like, listen, man. My mama always told me the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yep.
So I gotta try it.
Yep.
Let's go. I'm not backing down. You're not gonna punk me. You're not gonna do that. And I think that would just make me as a player and as a person, man. Like I'm a hardworking guy, and I just always had that like little man syndrome. I don't
Yep.
know, man. I fought my mom. I told her all the time maybe she should have kept me in the womb a little longer. But man,
I
listen,
don't
man.
know if it works like that.
But man, it's always been in me, man. It's always been in me. But me being a smaller guy, I think if I was a bigger guy, I always tell guys all the time, and I always joke with guys in the NFL. I was like, man, if I was 6 feet, I'd been $100 million in the corner. But I don't know. I always said that, but I don't know if I would have still had the same drive
Had your head.
that I had
Yes.
being a smaller guy.
Yeah.
And I always tell guys, I don't know if I would have had the same drive. And then me going 7th round was a blessing.
Mhm.
It was a blessing. Imagine me getting $2-3 billion going second to third round, and I
Life
don't
would be
know.
easy. Yeah. You needed it to be
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, I needed it to be hard so I can gain my teammates' trust and gain these coaches' trust and go out there and fight for everything I got.
Mhm.
That was my life built on. I've been fighting for everything I got. Nothing never been easy for me.
Yep.
So I needed to go in 7th round. I needed to be a 216 in the 2009 draft.
Yep.
So I can know now all these guys that went before me, I'm gonna show the teams now, hey, listen, y'all made a mistake.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
better than these guys. And
I
that's
mean,
what I always, man. I had all these corners names down. Listen, I was one of those guys.
Yep.
Like, how guys have these
yeah.
cliches say, yeah, every guy that went in front of me, I had their names down. I really had their names down.
Yep.
Every cornerback that went in front of me, I had their name down. And I used to look at that list almost every other day. Like, yo, bro, I remember, yeah, where he at now? Ha, okay. Yeah, he's not in the league.
Yep.
Ha, he's not even playing football no more.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we playing down here in New Orleans. They had Malcolm Jenkins. They had him as a corner. Ha, he's a safety now. Ha, he's in Philly. He had a great career, but he's in Philly. I'm a corner. I told them that.
Yep.
Mark him off.
Hey, that was your edge, man. And like,
Yeah.
that was all you. I remember up in when you signed in Buffalo. That was your 11th.
Listen,
That was your 10th or 11th year.
that's my 11th season, man. And I wish things could have worked out up there in Buffalo, but it was, man, my age caught up to me. And when they asked me to play special teams, you know how it is up there,
Yep.
Pat.
Yep.
Oh, you gonna play special teams?
Mhm.
Oh, Coach McDermott them, and that was my old coaching staff, Garcia. So they remember me as this Captain Mullen that's gonna be a gunner. He can go catch punts. He can go hold up a guy.
Yep.
But I'm going into year 11.
Yep.
So they coming to me like, "Yo, Cap, can you go down and help us on kickoff?" 11? Man, I'm not doing that. Like, no, coach. So I know the day that's my first time ever getting released, man, was my 10th year in the NFL when Carolina asked me to take a pay cut. I wouldn't take it. That's my first time ever in 10 years getting released
Mhm.
from anything. So that was a different feeling for me. So then when I
Right.
went to Buffalo, it was just like, man, do I really want to still play? I had guys like Pat still around. I was saying, like, yo, man, my old Gamecock buddy. So
I remember like the
I
first
wanted,
day there, we sat and had lunch together, and we were talking, and
yes,
you were like, "Man, I think I still got it, but I gotta find out if I still got it." This is what training camp's
yes,
for right now. Yep.
yes. And Pat, I don't know if you remember, my first day was there. We came down here to Carolina to practice against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I remember that.
So Garcia, I'm 206 pounds at the time. I played at 195. So you got to realize I had only thing can get you in football shape is what? Football.
Yep.
Football, right.
You can do all the training. I can go out there and do all these ladder drills. I can get you to goddamn. I'm backpedaling, doing the route tree, doing the backpedal wise. But only thing that really can get me in shape is football. Putting a helmet on,
100%.
put them pads on, running around, chasing guys. That's the only thing that can really get me in shape. So when they put me on the scale, Coach McDermott and Brandon Bean looked at each other and said, "What in the hell?" There's like, "Low Cap, we gotta get you down." So now I'm in Buffalo where you very rarely gonna
Yeah,
sweat.
it's like 75 degrees
Training
during
is
training camp.
so Garcia, I got 3, 4 hoodies on. I got all these sweats. So I'm trying to lose weight. I'm like, listen, I gotta lose weight or they gonna release my little ass.
You're big ass at
I'm
that
a little
point.
butterball. I'm a little butterball. Like seriously, man, 5'9", 206, that do not look good on me.
Mhm.
So we come down here to practice against Carolina, and I practiced like 2 days. I played like a couple snaps in the game. I was in Buffalo for a total of 10 days, man. They came to me and they asked me, they was like, "Yo, Cap, can you really help us on special teams?" And I got a relationship with Coach McDermott and Brandon Bean. Like I said, they had me in Carolina,
Mhm.
and I respect those guys and they respect me. And when they asked me, I told them the truth. I was like, "Listen, I could have been one of those guys to steal another year
Yep.
or two,
Right.
but I had so much respect for those guys that I was like, listen, I can't run down there on kickoff and being a hold up guy no more. That those days are over.
Mhm.
I mean,
You
that's
know,
kind of that's reminiscent to what D Stu was telling us, Pat. He's
Yep.
like, I just because he came down here to Tampa and we had dinner and just kind of shooting the shit. But he said that I mean, when we had him on the show not too long ago, he said the same thing you're saying, Cap. He's like, I'm too old for this shit. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, man, it's just like Father Time had caught up to me. All those long black eyes workouts, pushing those sleds, and it caught up to me. It really
yeah,
caught up to me, man. So I was just like, man, listen, I can't do it. And those guys respect me so much to this day. I actually, Pat, I don't know if you know, I went up there and did the
Yeah.
Bill Walsh coaching thing
Yeah. I saw that.
up there, and they brought me back, and they even try to hire me,
They're
man.
great
They really
people.
try to hire
I
me.
mean, those like
Man, listen, great
Coach
guys.
McDermott and Brandon Bean there are two of the best to ever do it.
Yes,
Like
bro. And
they're
I
gold
and I felt
standard.
like I didn't want to tarnish that relationship with those guys. I think that's why they can still respect me to this
Yeah.
day. And if I call those guys, listen, coach, y'all got any openings, this and that, I'm sure I get the job,
Mhm.
man. I went up there, like I said, for the Bill Walsh coaching thing, and they was trying to actually hire me, and I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
That league life different.
It's a
Man,
lot.
listen, being a coach in the league is different, Pat. Oh
Well,
no.
I tried
Listen.
college for a year and a half,
Oh,
and man,
yeah.
oh, listen.
I was about to say, man. I know Pat's got a personal experience, and I know several guys that I've actually trained that are now in the college ranks coaching, and they're trying to get to the NFL. They're like, dude, this college sucks. Like
Listen, the
you
college
got
shit
you
might
he's like
sucks, but they don't
you
understand.
got guys he's like you got guys that are making more money than me, and I'm sitting there telling them like, this is what you're supposed to do in cover two. This is the quarterback or this is the route you're supposed to go. And it's like, coach, man, no disrespect, but I'm getting paid more than you. So why don't you just shut the fuck up? Let me do this. It's like,
hey, there's
what
supposed
do you
to be
say to
that in the
Nah,
that?
NFL too, though. At times.
but I would say it's like that in the NFL
Mhm.
too, though. It's like that in the NFL, man. I've been around guys, bro. Like it's like I've seen guys like really chump coaches off, and I'm like, I've never been that type of guy
That's
because
crazy.
who I am, and like
Well,
my mama just,
but that's
I
because
respect
Beans
every
put
man
you
in
in check.
authority. Yeah, for real. So
Let me talk. Let me talk to you
Beans
after this
checked your
meeting.
ass real quick. Put you in
yeah,
line.
so I've never been that guy just be like disrespectful to coach. Like, listen, man, don't talk to me, man. I make more money than you, man. Get on, man. Like, they gonna get rid of you before they get rid of
No
me.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I've never been that type of guy. So it happens in every level now, though, like you said,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
in the league, well, it was the time for me though, Pat. Like we had OTAs, and I finished all the cards for Bobby Babbage,
Yep.
who was the DC up
Yeah.
there. He
Love
he was
Bobby.
actually my personal nickel coach. He was my personal nickel coach when I was in the NFL. The first guy who ever showed me how to play nickel was him.
Really?
So he was 20, yeah, he was 26 years old in Carolina showing me how to play nickel, and we was like around the same age. And
that's wild.
he really had me doing these cards and stuff. So I'm doing the cards. It's cool. You have to do it. As coaches, you got to learn how to draw cards. So I'm drawing the cards, this and that. Bam. So we have personnel meeting. We go over the personnel, and I'm sitting there like, man, I raised my hand. I'm going to be a jokester. Y'all know me. I'm like, yo, coach. So when I was playing, y'all used to talk about me like y'all talking about these guys.
It's true. Yeah.
And they was like, yeah, we used to talk about your ass the same way. So bam, so we talking. So he gave the guys off of OTAs. He gave them off. He was like, listen, y'all, they was done at 11 o'clock. So we was done with the player personnel meeting, everything at about 12. I was done with my cards and everything. Coach McDermott said this. He said, all right, guys, go watch your desk till 5. It's 12.
Yep.
I said, huh? I said, hey, coach, what that mean? He said, go find something to do until 5. This OTAs. This not the season. We're not breaking down the opponents or nothing. This is OTAs. I'm sitting there like, oh, hell no. They ain't going to be doing me like this. Oh, no, I got, Listen, I don't even got no hair. I don't even got no hair. I'm like, man, I got to go get a haircut. Man, y'all got me messed up, man.
No, I
Hey,
mean,
it's the time. So those guys really, I know they all saying these coaches, man, but they put in so much time and work, man. It is
it's
ridiculous,
at
man.
6 a.m. to 11 p.m., 5, 6 days a week. It's the real
Bro,
deal.
like
But there is a
those,
lot of desk guarding. There's a lot of wasted time,
it's a lot of
which
wasted
was
time,
part of
and
my
that's what I don't
frustration.
think. Yes, that's what I don't like about it. Like I'm not like Garcia. Like what I'm going to watch this desk from 12 to 5 for?
Right.
It's OTAs. We're not breaking down the Arizona Cardinals.
Mhm.
We're not breaking down Patrick Mahomes. We're not doing none of that. It's
We're,
OTAs. And
we're
they
just
say you
sitting
go
there
guard the.
rotting. Yeah.
Yes, you just round the clock, bro. It's like, man, come on, dog. Like, no, I'm not with that,
Hey,
man.
going
So
back,
that's why I
going
coach
back
high school.
to training camp in Buffalo, in your 10 days there, I remember I had you in a one-on-one pass pro rep when you were blitzing from nickel, and you came up, and I went to punch you, and you hand swiped me, and like
Yeah,
got right around me right away,
yeah.
and you were jogging back. You're like, "Damn, Pat, I thought you remembered. I hit you with that move when I was in Minnesota, and you were in Atlanta like 4 years ago. You didn't learn from your mistake." I was like, "You little
I remember
fucker."
that. Hey, Pat, I remember that. Pat,
No,
I
cat
always.
talking. I don't believe it. I don't buy that.
Listen, I always been a great blitzer, and I think that was been in my game.
Yeah,
Even when you said when you was in Atlanta, they always blitz
you
me.
blitzed a
Like,
lot. You and Harrison
and
Smith. He was
yes,
the
me
safety. You were the corner blitzing.
and yes, and when they always blitz me, and I was just always proud of myself to try to beat guys like Pat because they used to think that I'ma just use speed and they overset sometimes. So when they overset, I just use my speed,
Yep,
use my hand, and I dip. And I'm a smaller guy, so
yep.
I dip. I can get under their arms and stuff, and I dip and I just go.
Mhm.
And I just go, and I think that's another thing that made me so special in the NFL, being a great blitzer, man. Being a cornerback and having 10 and a half sacks is, pretty damn good,
Hell yeah.
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 Did you prefer playing corner or nickel?
It was fun to playing nickel. Corner is probably the hardest position on the
Yep.
field because you're on that island, man. It can be
Right.
one false step, and Garcia, you probably look over there and you see I'm a little tired, and you be like, oh yeah, I'm going after his little ass now. They're a little winded. That's a little different. It's a whole lot of field that I got to cover.
Yeah.
So at nickel, it was just more of you had to be willing to tackle.
Mhm.
Like at the nickel position, you got to be able to really willing to tackle. You got to be willing to see that guard pull. Man, I got to fit this B gap
Yep.
right here. You know what I'm saying? I got to really my eyes got to be in the right place at all times at nickel. And I played with some damn good guys, man. I played with, fuck yeah, I played with Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis.
Yep.
You know, so I played with some damn good guys that really helped me be the best nickel, probably one of the best nickels that in the league at the time.
Yep.
Because I used to funnel everything to them. Oh man,
Right.
this guy run a slant on me. Boy, you about to get
Yeah.
knocked out by Luke Kuechly, dog. I ain't even worried about it. Go in there. You
Yeah.
probably want to run this. You probably want to run this out route.
Yeah.
Hold on to this out, and you know I'm a love tap you, but I'm gonna hit you. It ain't gonna be what he gonna do to you. So I used to use those guys, you know, and Luke Kuechly probably one of the smartest football players I ever been
Yeah, I
around.
want to hear more.
Like,
I want to hear more about that relationship because obviously I played when
listen,
I was in Atlanta. We played you guys twice a year. He called out,
listen,
I shit you not,
probably
60% of our plays.
easy.
Wow.
Like, listen, calling out screenplays, calling out plays, telling me, hey, Cap, watch this run. Cap, trap, trap, trap. Cap, screen, screen, screen. Hey, double slant, double slant. And I'm sitting
It
there
was
like,
impressive.
yo, this is crazy. But the kid put in the work.
Mm,
Pat, I seen this kid as a rookie. I used to get to the stadium early because I was a guy to go ahead and get my lift out the way
mm,
so I don't have to lift out the practice
yep.
or lift during lunch. So I get to the stadium about 6:15, 6:30 to go and get a lift out the way. Luke already there watching film. The kid didn't have cable in his house for the first 4 years in the NFL.
Mm,
That's crazy.
Like, I'm dead serious. Like, all he did was eat, sleep football. And it showed on the field.
yep.
It showed on the field. When I went to Minnesota, I had to learn those guys. You know, I played with Jap again when I went to
Yep.
Minnesota, but I had to learn, all right, now Jap ain't gonna be calling out screen, this and that, this and that. Chad Greenway, those guys, they're good football
Yep.
players. Don't get me wrong, but they're not gonna be say, hey, Cap, watch the trap, this and that. And then it forced my ass to study a little bit
Yep.
more.
No doubt.
Because playing with Luke Kuechly, man, listen, bro, it was a breeze. He knew 65% of the offensive plays. We
It
played
was
New
scary.
Orleans, we played Atlanta, we played Tampa division games. Oh, they smoke.
Mm.
You smoke because he gonna know it. He know it, and he know it like the back of his hand.
We would be in
That
like
just was him.
we'd be in like a standard I formation where we would do 25 different things out of it. And like 2 out of 3 plays, he's guessing what we're doing. And I'm like, there's no motion, there's no shift. We're in a stock set. How the hell are you calling lead week? How are you calling like play pass off lead week now? Like it was
Listen,
stupid.
it was amazing. I don't know if you remember, Pat. You were still there. We stopped y'all on a fourth down, a crucial fourth down one
Mm,
time, and he just shot the gap and he called the play out from Dave. He was telling us to play. We sitting there like, man, they ain't finna do that. I'm like, no way. I'm being real. I'm like, man, there's no way, bro. Like, no, this formation, they do not run this play. Like, no. Man, he shot the gap and made the play. He did them damn chin straps like this.
yeah,
I started yelling. I said, I jumped on his back
yeah.
there, like, hey, hey,
He was the
but
worst talker. Like he cracked me up out
because
there.
he's not good at it.
He would what
Like
he
he's
would
not
say was
like Garcia, he's terrible.
he would go, "You
He's
suck,
terrible.
you suck," and
Yeah,
I wanted to be like,
Hey man,
"Yeah,
you suck.
everybody sucks compared to you, Luke. Like everybody
like
sucks on this field compared to you."
so he
That's
the shit
hilarious.
talking was terrible. Like Garcia, if you met him off the field, bro, you'll be like, yo, the nicest guy you ever
Yep,
met. He like Clark Kent,
yep,
like for
Yeah.
real. He's gonna have the glasses on. He's like, hey man, how you doing? Pat, how your family
yep.
doing, man? Everybody's fine. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just chilling. He don't really drink. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just chilling, man, like relaxing. He get on that field,
Good dog.
Different.
you'll be like, man, who the hell is
Yep.
this? And his talking was not elite.
Awful.
It wasn't elite at all.
That is
It was
so
awful.
funny.
It was awful. He's like,
Cat.
yeah. He's like, you terrible. Man, tell him they suck ass.
uh, hey, Cat. All right, I got two-part question here, man. Who is the hardest quarterback you've played against in college, and then who's the hardest receiver in college? And then same question for the pros.
4-part question.
Oh man,
Come on, Steve.
the hardest, the hardest
Four
quarterback,
point, sure.
the hardest quarterback I ever played in college. Oh man, I don't know. I never really thought about the hardest quarterback I played in college, man.
I mean, it's got to be Tebow, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
from a prep standpoint, it is a lot.
yeah, that would be the answer because he brought so much different shit to the game.
Mhm.
Right.
And his passion and stuff, but they beat the hell out of us, if y'all
You played
remember.
against Chris Leak
Like,
though, too, didn't you?
yes,
That dude
Chris
could
Leak was
spin it.
elite.
Yeah.
Chris Leak was elite, But a quarterback that man, I ain't gonna lie, Garcia, just playing against y'all guys at practice made us. Y'all was SEC quarterbacks,
Mhm.
bro.
Right.
So y'all made our game better, like each and every day playing against y'all guys. It wasn't. The margin in college was very
It's
small.
true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The margin in college is very small. Now, when you get to the NFL, but the hardest receiver I ever played against was Stevie Johnson, that was in
Yeah.
Buffalo, Pat, for a
Speedy is
while.
shifty, man.
Listen, he was so shifty in college too, but he was bigger. He was at Kentucky.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh,
Kentucky.
that's
Yes,
right. Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
at Kentucky. So I remember I called a pick. We played against Andre Wilson. And, that's when we
Yep.
knocked him off.
Yeah.
Norwood had the 2 touchdowns. I called an interception.
Yep.
But that whole game, I was frustrated. That whole entire game, I was like, man, this dude is giving me everything I want. I'm like, I'm glad the D line is getting after this quarterback because I would look like I was getting
Yeah.
exposed.
Speedy was
Like I'm
special.
the realest. Like he was special. But in the NFL, hands down, Aaron Rodgers. I was in his division for two
Yeah.
years. I mean 3 years, and I played him twice a year.
Really.
I never seen nobody like that
He,
day in my life.
his arm talent is like off the
It's
freaking
unmatchable.
charts.
It's not like I said in college, the margin was very small. In the NFL, you can see the difference. And he
Right.
was a guy that I was like, yo, like man, Garcia, that the week we played Green Bay, listen, I tried to do everything right. I prayed at night. Listen, I didn't drink during the week. I got my massages. Listen, I went to sleep before 8. Like I try to do everything right. He was that type of
Yeah.
talented guy. And the receiver wise in the league, man, was Steve Smith at practice every day.
Yeah. That's true.
Hey, a dog.
Yes.
Listen, a dog, a guy who's my size that can do everything. The
Yeah.
guy he put his cleats at my helmet one day. Cam threw the ball up, and I was like, man, there's no way. I'm not finna jump. It's too high. He put his cleats at my helmet. He came down and bounced, and I just looked at my coach. My coach said, "You can't do nothing about that. Good ass catch. Tap him." He said, tap him on the ass and tell him good ass catch. I was like, oh man, good
Yeah.
catch, bro.
What can you do,
Like
man?
he's probably the most talented guy that I've been around when it came to being on the field. Because if you look at him off the field, he got a big belly,
Yeah.
but his calves are this damn
Yeah.
big. And I never forget we doing jumping. We doing box jumps. So you do box jumps. I jumped on like 56. Boom. So Steve come in, no stretch, no nothing. He said, "Who got the highs?" They's like, Cap got the highs right now." He's like, "What he got?" They's like 56. He's like, "Put 60 on there." This no stretch, no nothing. This is when I knew the NFL was real.
Yeah.
I'm still young at the time. He put 60 on there and just jumped on it like it's nothing and walked out the weight room.
He's like, I'm good.
I said, I said, what in the man? I was like, no, put 60 on there. I never could get it. And I've been, listen, I squatted the world. Pat, y'all know I was
Yeah.
strong as hell. I squatted the
Yeah.
world. I benched the world. Couldn't do it. That's a guy I knew right then. And I said, he's different.
Mhm.
He just got that it. He got that it. He's another one that when he crossed the field, he elite talking. His shit talking is elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for real. He makes some guys want to go high. He talks so
Yeah.
much
It
shit.
was him and Akeem Talib.
But
That was the big one.
yes,
Oh, that's right.
but
Yeah.
him off the field, like for real, bro, probably one of the coolest guys you ever met
Mhm.
off the field.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I made a play on him my rookie year. I made a play on him, and that's back in the day where we used to do. We didn't have rookie mini camp. You do veterans, and y'all all did it together.
Mhm.
So he come to camp. I make a play on him. He look at me. He's like, "Good play, Rook." So I'm like, "All right, man." I'm like, "Steve Smith just told me good play."
Yeah, I
You know what
made
I'm
it.
saying? I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? The next play, he's talking to himself. He's like, "Little motherfucker think he can fucking guard me. I'm gonna fuck his ass up." I'm
Oh,
playing him at the line. I'm sitting there like, who the hell he talking to? He talking to me. Man, listen, he slapped me across my helmet so hard my ears was ringing. Y'all know I was ready to fight.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he hit me so damn hard. Man, my ears was ringing for about 3 plays later. I was like, man, this motherfucker. And his hands was about this big,
Mhm.
like for real. They are up here. He had real mitts. Man, he probably the talented guy ever, man. Like I said, if you see him off the field, Garcia got a big belly. Uh, don't look like he work out, but if he grab you, probably the strongest guy I ever
Yep.
been grabbed
it's
about.
over.
Yeah.
Yep,
All right. Well, you live up in Charlotte now. There's a
yep.
bunch of Gamecocks that live up there in Charlotte. You,
We loaded, man.
yeah.
It's a lot of us here.
Who's your crew? Who do you roll with? What type of stuff y'all doing socially?
Oh man, Melvin Ingram stay
Yep.
here. Darren Stewart still stay here. Larry Freeman.
Yeah, Larry, Big
Oh,
Larry.
Larry.
Yep. Gerard Sinclair.
G.
Yeah.
Yep. Pierre Andrews.
Big
Andrew,
P.
yep.
Yeah, Pierre.
Hey,
Oh, he stays here.
how's he doing?
Yeah,
I know he
He's
had a
doing
little
good.
help. He
Yeah,
had a
he's
little
doing
health
good.
care, right? A
Yep,
little
yep, he's
health
getting
scare.
better. He got
Good.
better. So yeah, man, all us here, man.
well, and then
Stephon Gilmore was here,
yep.
but he bought a house in Dallas now. He said he gonna make Dallas his home. But man, it's a lot of us, man. We still stay here. We get up and we still talk football. The one I probably see the most is Melvin because his nephew actually played at the high school that I coach for.
Okay.
So Melvin be at the games all the time, and he always try to give like the coaches some insight of what the team's doing. I'll never forget we playing in Bank of America Stadium. We opened up high school football here, and I go to my phone at halftime, and I get 10 messages from Melvin. Hey man, y'all need to do this and that, make this adjustment. I'm sitting there like, all right, man, God, if you want to do that, just bring y'all
Yeah,
from the
come
coaches
help
down.
us.
Right.
So he's a guy who we still interact with and stuff like that, man. Mel a good guy, man.
All right, well,
Good
now
guy.
you got no cap, one cap. You got the little logo right above you. You started the podcast.
Yep,
Started almost the same time we did. I guess this year's your first season. Tell us about it. I
yep,
mean, we've been following your content. It's been awesome. You recap damn near everything in all football aspects, NFL, college.
yep.
We kind of stuck to more of the college Gamecock theme. But tell us about how it got started and kind of where you want to go with it and everything.
Oh man, I love talking ball. I'm a guy who loves talking ball, and everybody's like, yo, man, you got so much knowledge about the ball. You played at the highest level. You see it from a fan standpoint now and a player standpoint. You coach high school. You've been in all these other places. You've been around a lot of great guys, and I think you should talk about it more. And I'm sitting there like, oh. At first, I was like, man, I don't know. When you first retire, you're lost. Pat, and
Yeah.
I tell guys this all the time. When I first retired, I was fucking lost.
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. I'm sitting there like, man, what is my next move? The first 3 years, I was lost. So I started training kids, and let me go out here, train a couple DBs and this and that, just to get my feedback. And then I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. See some of these guys be successful, and I'm like, oh man, I really can take this training stuff seriously. Then I started coaching.
Mhm.
Then the coaching thing was like, oh, okay, cool. Then now guys like, yo, bro, you need to start talking about so much about the game of football and so much knowledge on it. You should talk about it more. And the guy who I do it with, JB, he actually a Gamecock.
Okay.
So we've been knowing each other. So he went to Gamecock. He loved Garcia. Listen, I told him now. I said, listen, if I get Garcia on the show, please don't be a fucking groupie.
Hey,
He
let me
loves
know,
you.
man. Let me know.
Hey, he he
I'll come on
loves
there
you,
whenever.
man. Yeah, he loves you. So I told him, man, like we just started talking about it. Then, like I said, he's a Gamecock. So we started want to talk about Gamecock football. We started talking about that. Then he's like, man, Cap, I would help you do the podcast, man. You really should do it. So I already had the name No Capping with Cap.
Mhm.
Actually, a girl that went to South Carolina, her name Brittany. She used to dance for the
Yeah, I
Hornets,
know
and she
Brittany.
used to yes, yeah,
That's Caldwell. It's
yep,
Brian's
Brittany
sister.
Cardwell. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So she used to scratch me. She was a girl that used to come in and scratch me before the games and stuff like that. And she's big on her performance stuff.
Mhm.
And me and her actually used to BS around COVID while she scratched me. We used to do no capping with Cap.
Mhm.
And we just used to do it and this and that. And she's like, Cap, you really should take this serious. And I'm sitting there like, man, nobody don't want to hear what I got to say for real. Man, I don't care about that.
You're
So
good, dude.
I kind of swept it under the rug, and then JB he really just brought it back out of me. He was like, "Listen, I don't care. I do the groundwork. We can just set up. We can do it." And I got it from there. I said, "All right, if you do the work, I'll put in the
Yep.
I mean,
label."
you
So
are good at it. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
yeah, so man, that's how I really got started, man, and I like it, man. But my passion is, man, I love coaching football.
Yep.
I love ball, man, and I think I love the high school level more than anything because they listen.
You got
Because
impact.
And they're
those
hungry.
guys,
Yeah.
yes,
They're
they
hungry.
hungry. They want to be they wide eyed to it. It's like, oh man, this Captain Munnerlyn. They do their research. I'm getting a little older, so some of them have to, they have to go to do their little
Dial up
research on me. And
management.
they like, yeah, so they like, yo, that's my that's Coach Cap. So I think I like that more because they listen, man, and they hungry. So I got some couple guys on my team, man. They are hungry. I coach Clint Portis. Y'all know Clint
Yeah.
Portis, the
Yeah.
running back.
Yep.
He got 3 kids at Miles Park, the high school. His son actually just committed to the University of Miami,
Yep.
and I like that, man. I like seeing those kids be successful. And then I got a guy, Thomas Brown, who's the offensive coordinator now for the Bears.
Yeah.
He
He was
was
in
with the
LA,
Panthers.
and yeah, he was with the Panthers too. Yep.
Yep. So his son is the cornerback at the school that I coach, and he has a shot. Like his son is really good, and I like pointing to those guys, all the knowledge that I got, all the footwork drills that can help those guys to get better. I want to see those kids go on to be successful. And I can say, hey man, I coach those kids,
You're
man.
paying it forward.
That's what I love to do.
Yeah, you're paying
Are
it
Yep.
you
forward.
are you still training like DB work on the side or
Yes, yes, I
okay?
still do it. I still do it on the side, man. I had a couple kids that's in the NFL right now. Ja'Cory Bennett, he plays for the Raiders.
Mhm.
He's number 0. He's their starting
Yeah,
corner. He's from Mobile. and I be training him, man, and a lot of guys, college guys, they love it, man. I get those guys out there, man. Get those guys to compete. You
Yeah,
know, listen, Garcia. I tell, hey, listen, man, give me a quarterback, get a receiver. We're gonna do
let's
some one
go.
on ones too.
yep.
Yep,
Like we can't be no prima donnas. We don't think all this lateral drills want to do icky shuffle and all that. No, we need to put somebody in front of you too.
yep. Football,
Yep.
no doubt about it. Hey, random. Do you remember the name Cody Keith?
Cody Keith, Cody Keith, Cody
He played
Keith.
he played quarterback at East Carolina. He lives in the Charlotte area.
Man, I heard of that name.
Uh, anyways, he said he used to. So I'm buddies with him. He said he used to train with you, Stefan, and D'Angelo at AK High School with
I know what you're
J
talking about. I
Jeremy
do know what you're
Boone.
talking about. Jeremy Boone, sure
Yep,
do. Yep, I
yep,
remember. It was used to be me, Stephon, D'Angelo, Cody. Yep, I remember now. And some other
yep.
motor guys that used to play for the Steelers. Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I was
man.
just he's like, hey man, what's going on? I was like, I'm actually about to get on with Captain Munnerlyn. He's like, oh man, like I used to work out with him, Stefan and D'Angelo all the time. Like I haven't seen him in 10 years. Make sure you
Yeah,
tell him I
man.
said what's up.
We used to train at AK High School, man. Jeremy Boone, bro. Them grind days and Stephon Gilmore, y'all. He's still doing it.
He's like
And
fine
listen,
wine, man.
he's so talented, dog. And I always mess with him because when we work out together, it'd be like he do everything so effortless, and
Mhm.
it's pissing me off.
Yep.
It pissed me
Right.
off because I always had a guy like I gotta grind. Steph do it so effortless, and then I'll be looking at him like, man, you mother, like boy, God, dog, boy, like he's still doing it, man. He's still doing it, and I always take credit for him going to the University of South Carolina because I was his host.
Oh wow.
Yeah, baby.
I was him. Listen, people don't know I was him and Marcus Lattimore host.
Hey,
I did
you're,
not know
you're
that. Wow.
undefeated there. You're undefeated there.
You're
That's good.
undefeated.
I got both of those guys there. And how I got Stephon there was this. I told Stephon, he came to me. He's like, yo, he's like, Cap. He's like, are you leaving school early? I'm gonna give you an inside trade. I said, yes. He said, well, I'm coming.
And I'm playing corner next year in Carolina.
Yeah, because he didn't think he was gonna be able to come in. I told him, I was like, if I stay, you still can come in and play.
Mhm.
You Stephon Gilmore.
Yep.
He's like, nah, he's like, they might try to red shirt you.
Yeah.
Man, no, they're
Mr.
not.
Football in
I'm
the
like, you
state of South
Stephon
Carolina.
Gilmore.
You're right.
Yes. I'm like, yo, bro, like, no, they're not gonna redshirt you. So that's what happened. I ended up telling him I was like, listen, I'm in the draft, bro. Don't tell nobody.
That's awesome. All right. Well, how often do you
Oh
make it
man.
back to Columbia now? You ever come back?
Oh man, yeah, I do. I want to come back, man. I gotta come back, man. I always come back in the summer because my high school team we do the 7-on-7
Yeah.
thing. So we always come back for being 7-on-7. I didn't. I always come back for a game. This year I didn't make it back for
Mhm.
a game because it's just so it's been so busy with high school football and then
Right.
all that stuff happened in Asheville.
Yeah.
So the season kind of ran over a little later
Mhm.
than we expected because we had to let the rest of the state catch up. So, but man, I'm always, man, I'm always chiming in on my Gamecocks, looking at them. Like I said, they're probably the best three years of my life, man. Is that helped me became the person I am today. I don't regret it at all, man. Making my decision to come to the South Carolina, man. Even being 8.5 hours away from Mobile, Alabama. Just the life lessons that I learned and the things that I learned,
Mhm.
the sweat and tears that I put in with y'all guys, man, all the hard work and the growth that I had from a freshman to a junior, then to go to the NFL, man. And I always rely back on, my friends and or what I learned at the University of South Carolina, man. I wouldn't change this for the world. Like, I felt like I would have got lost in the shuffle at another college for sure. But I
Yep.
went to South Carolina, and that's
Yep.
the college that shaped me and molded me to I am today. And I wouldn't change this for the world, man. GC for life, baby.
Well,
Goon Squad.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Goon Squad, baby.
The Goon Squad.
we're
I
glad.
tell you what, man, doing this podcast, and I'm sure Pat can attest to this as well, man. Like getting a chance to like talk with the former teammates and former guys like yourself and D Stu and Melvin, Akeem. I mean,
Yeah,
all these guys, Pharaoh, Cooper, DJ. Like doing this podcast. I mean, it's been it's a lot more work than I think we
yeah,
anticipated. But I
Well,
mean, it's fun
yeah, man. You get to
getting a
catch
chance
it's
to
just
to
so good
link
to
back up.
reconnect with everybody
catch
and
up with some
reminisce, man.
guys,
We had
man.
good days.
Yeah, catch up with some
We had
guys.
shared struggles together. Like that's what really makes true friends. Is like, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it's doom and gloom. And
Yeah,
it's like guys like you guys that we grinded with. We cried on each other's shoulders. We
for
had to pick
sure.
each other up when we fell down. That's what it required to kind of build the family and the trust and the team that we had. It wasn't an overnight thing, man. That was a lot of experience and shared
Yeah.
experiences we
Oh
had.
yeah, for sure. For
No
sure.
doubt, no doubt. Cap, you ready for this
Yeah,
rapid
let's
fire
get it.
You're
deal?
gonna have to put your South Carolina hat back
Let's
on
get it,
because we're
man.
gonna date you back to the. All right, you
All
lead
right.
off.
So, all right, who is and this Pat? Where this is strictly Carolina, right?
Strictly back from your time in South Carolina.
All right,
So
bet.
you got to
All
think
right,
about a bunch
who
of
is
people.
all right? Who is the funniest teammate?
Kenny McKinley.
I,
That's a good
I,
one.
I,
Good
I
call.
agree with that one.
I agree.
Who was the smartest teammate?
Oh, the smartest teammate I had probably was. Oh my God, why y'all put that on me? The smartest
You only went
teammate.
to class 6 times when you were in college,
I
so
know. I'm gonna go with a quarterback, Chris Smelley.
Smelly was smart.
Chris Smelley,
Smelly, yeah. All right, who is the strongest teammate?
hands down, pound for pound, Captain Munnerlyn.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was
Hey,
coming.
I love to hear
All
it.
right.
Love
Well,
to hear
I
it.
know Captain's not going to be this answer. Who was the slowest teammate?
Oh, Pierre Andrews.
Pierre Andrews.
For sure.
That's a
Y'all
good one.
remember that? Them lines
That's
we have, man, listen, bro, he used to always be the last one. And then want to do extra reps. Yeah, you want to do extra.
yep. No, man, you're done.
You
You're
out of
done.
here.
Uh, who was the sleepiest?
Oh, sleepers. Oh man. Oh man. Dion LaCoin.
Falling asleep
Dion
in
LaCoin.
meetings.
Dion.
Dion
Dion LaCoin.
LaCour.
Dion.
Oh, Dion's gonna love hearing that.
All right. Who was the teammate that you learned the most from during your time at Carolina?
Oh man. Stoney Woodson.
Stoney. Stoney was smart. Yeah.
Stoney
Damn.
Woodson.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I haven't heard that
Yeah,
name
man.
in forever, man. Did you keep in
Oh
contact with
man,
him?
I ain't heard from Stonian since man, it's probably been probably about 12 years, man, for real. But yeah, man, Stone,
Damn.
but that
Yeah.
was a guy who really I sat by him in meetings as a freshman,
Mhm.
and then he really helped my game, man, a lot. Stoney was a great teammate for me.
All right.
Man, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. I'm glad you brought him
Yep.
up,
All right,
man.
now,
I gotta figure out a way to
Yeah,
find him.
man.
other than you and Steven, who was the most chaotic teammate at Carolina? Other than you two.
Oh man, other than Ben Garcia, oh man, Carlos Thomas.
Carlos, yes.
Yeah, that's
Carlos Thomas. Carlos ready to lose his
that's a
Carlos will
fair
lose
one.
his mind on everybody. Oh man, I don't care. This and that. Man,
Yep.
Carlos, calm your ass down.
Yep.
He was just on your
Yep,
podcast,
yep,
wasn't
he just was Carlos.
Was he?
he? Yeah, yeah. He's coaching right
Yeah,
now,
he's
isn't he?
doing like the fitness thing. He was a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a police
Wow.
officer. Him and T Camp was, but now T Camp coaching.
T
Yep.
Camp. Yeah,
T
yeah,
Camp
I did.
coaching. Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Man, that's
Well,
wild.
we appreciate you taking the time to hop on with us, man. It's always good to catch
Oh yeah,
up.
man.
And
Thanks for having me, man.
you'll have to come back for a basketball game. Steven and I are going to be doing this, not just in season,
Okay.
but off season
Oh
too.
yeah, for
So
sure.
we might do something like host a tailgate or something at a basketball game and have you
Oh
come
yeah,
down,
for
go to a
sure,
women's
man.
and men's
Man, let
game,
me know, man. I'll
something
come
like that.
down. It's the all season now, man. I'm free. I'm free. And I seen y'all guys. Didn't y'all have Blake Mitchell on one show?
Blake was
Yeah.
on one of our joint
I
shows.
didn't
Yeah.
even know it was damn Blake Mitchell. I was like, Blake look different.
He lost a lot of
Yeah,
weight,
Well,
and I found it.
he showed up to the restaurant when we were recording,
yeah.
and like he walked up behind me, and I shook his hand like, "Hey, Patrick DeMarco," and he's like, "Blake." He's like, "You're an asshole, Pat." I was like, "Oh, it's Blake Mitchell!" Like, oh my god.
Listen, I seen. I was like, "Yo, Blake, Lagrange, Georgia, baby, stand up, Lagrange,
Yep,
Georgia."
Yep.
Lagrange.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man, Cap. I'm gonna
Okay,
message you and I'm gonna text you
okay.
my number, and then
I
we'll link up,
appreciate it.
man.
Hey, Pat,
We'll
man,
link
you know,
up in
always
Columbia.
good seeing y'all, boys.
Yeah,
Steven, man, I appreciate y'all for having me, bro.
yeah. Love you, dude.
Absolutely,
Keep
man.
doing your thing.
Yes, sir. All right, fellas.